Hello YouTube, it's me Tifar Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to this month's end of month bot haul where I show you all the Transformer related items I've picked up throughout the month. Yes, got about, well, it's got 18 items here that represent 14 purchases that came in throughout the month. So I don't want to, get too carried away with this. Let's get on with it, shall we? So, starting off, I went a bit mad with the comics this month. Yeah, I went a bit crazy with the comics, which is a bit strange because, I used to have comics with a subscription with a local comic shop, and then they changed hands, and then, my subscription box went to rat shit, and I wasn't enjoying the comics, and I stopped buying them. And then just lately, I've kind of got back into the IDW comics, mainly because of the Beast Wars comic that they're doing. But along the way, I've picked up a few other titles, and this month I was playing catch up for some of those titles that I missed out on that year or so I was away from the IDW comics. So yeah, starting off, the first comic arrival from eBay was this Transformers King Grimlock, issue number 3. I tried to get this out of Comics and Cocktails last month, but they were out of stock, as it happens, so they gave me a refund and sent the rest of my order, so I wasn't able to get one last month, but so I went on eBay at the beginning of the month, managed to pick one up off eBay. Not a huge fan of this cover. I would have preferred one of the other covers, but this was the only one that was readily available because all the other covers had already been snapped up because they're better and people were harking after them. So yeah, I've got the comic, and the comic's the same inside. It's just got this cover on it. I don't hate this cover. It's just not as good as the other covers. But anyway, so I got that. That was the first thing to arrive, and that arrived on the 3rd. Then the following day, another comic order arrived. This time from well, actually no, it's from eBay. It's again some more comics I got from eBay off another seller I bought from a while back. Had a bit of trouble with them, but as I was looking for these particular issues, which seemed to be out of stock with Comics and Cocktails, but they had them in stock. Shattered Glass number 3 and Beast Wars number 9. So yeah, I got these from Comic Biz off eBay. Like I said, a couple of months ago I had a bit of an issue with them where I ordered a particular cover and they sent me the wrong issue. When I sent it back, I was reluctant to send them feedback, and then the woman I was dealing with got a bit upset about it, and so I left them some really bland feedback in return. Anyway, but they had the issues that I wanted, so I managed to get those from, was it Comic Biz? I think the name of the store on eBay. I didn't have much choice. Again, certain comics, they seem to sell out pretty quick at the moment, and I've been getting a lot of my comics from Comics and Cocktails, but then you go on their website and try to navigate through that stupid search engine they've got on there to find the things that you want, and then you find that it's out of stock anyway. So yeah, so got those, and they arrived on the 4th. And then an order I did get from Comics and Cocktails, which arrived on the 5th. Like I said, playing catch up for comics that I passed on that year or so I was away from the IDW comics, most notably the Transformers Galaxies series. Last month I got, issue 5 and 6, which was the Cliff Jumper arc. So I decided to get the final arc they did in the Galaxy, because the Galaxies ran out to 12 issues. So I got issue 10, issue 11 and issue 12, which is an Ultra Magnus arc, where he's Alpha Trion's gone missing, so he's sent out a search party to search for him, and then he finds these smugglers who are dealing in bot parts, and smuggling them out, and yeah, it's quite interesting. Quite enjoyed that. It's Ultra Magnus, after all, is one of my favourite characters, so that was the reason why I went for that. And then I got the Halloween special as well. Interesting thing, Starscream, it harks back to when he had his what were they called? His mentor. And then he hears rumours of these screams in the woods, like Cybertron's got fucking trees on it. It's like, and he goes in there and he finds this voin, which is like an organic thing. It's like tethered to the ground via a cable, and when he steps on it, his spark is like invaded by this voin, and the voin turns out to be the spirit of his or the spark of his mentor, and there's a bit of a battle goes on in his mind as to who's going to get what, and it's quite interesting actually. Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting issue. It shows a little bit of history on Starscream, which you don't usually see, so it was kind of interesting in that respect. But you know, sometimes these extras, these like specials that they do, can be quite interesting in a little bit of a sideways look at some Transformers characters that you'd otherwise think are fairly two-dimensional. But yep, so that arrived, and they all arrived on the 5th. Right, so moving on. Next thing to arrive on the 11th. Right, now, as you've probably noticed with Hasbro Pulse and other online retailers, there's been a lot, obviously, because of the COVID, a lot of things are going on to online sales rather than, buying stuff at events or going into the shops and buying them. And they're doing a lot of this, they're throwing these pre-orders up months and months and months in advance. And when they do this, they throw up, pre-orders for an entire wave of figures, and certain characters, which are very, very popular, get snapped up very quickly, and they disappear, and you can't buy them. Usually it's the scalpers that are snapping up these popular characters, because the next thing you see these figures being offered on eBay and other probably online retail sites going for the usual scalper premiums. But I don't like to throw my money down on pre-orders as soon as they drop, even though, because I don't do this, I've missed out on certain figures in the past, and I've had to play catch up later on, which is a very expensive game, so to speak. So one of the figures that I didn't pre-order when it first dropped was the Studio Series 86 Slug, or Slag, and yeah, so I got the Grimlock. He's really good, so I wanted to get Slug. And of course, by the time I was ready to buy one, it was all sold out everywhere. Or, well, it was sold out at the regular sort of prices, and then you had the other people who were asking the silly scalper premiums for it. So I was a bit, well, how the hell am I going to get one of these? And I was hunting around, and I went on to All the Cool Stuff's website. Mr. Dave Tree down in Fordingbridge. He's got that little shop that's crammed full of all sorts of goodies, and yeah, he reworked his website recently, and I noticed he had Studio Series Slug down for pre-order for about 55 quid shipped, and I thought, oh, that's near enough, so I placed an order with it. And when did I place the order? It was last month. It was October. Anyway, didn't know when it was going to come out, but as it happens, it got shipped at the beginning of this month, and well, the middle of this month, and yeah, so I finally got my Studio Series Slug, and yeah, he's a great bot. He's a pretty cool bot. I don't think he's as good as Grimlock. I mean, I've just been handling it now, and some of the joints have got sort of bit of play in them, so to speak. Even though he's got friction joints, there's a bit of play in the bottom, and getting him to stand up straight is a bit of a challenge. Yeah, but got it from Dave Tree. He shipped it, and all's good. Comes with the little Daniel figure, which is like that wheelie. It's barely articulated. It's got stupid, bent leg proportions. It's only designed as an accessory that can sit or stand on the back of the other figure, and doesn't transform or anything, which is a bit of a shame. And also, he's got like an opaque head. You can't see the face inside, whereas on the box, it shows it as having, a face inside there. But anyway, he's all right. He's actually okay. Now, this figure, yeah, well, I would like to see somebody take this mould and give it the masterpiece treatment. Like scale it up to masterpiece scale. Rework the engineering on a few bits, improve the engineering in a few places. Put some die-cast parts on it to give it some weight, and then give it a premium paint job, including like the vacuum metal chrome finish on the various sort of bits. And someone like Aogi Mech, Aogi Mech, that sort of company. I mean, I know Wei Jiang's gone the way of the Dodo. I'm sure they would have had a go at masterpiecing this thing, because I would like to see someone have a go at turning this mould and the Grimlock as well. Upscaling it and giving it like the masterpiece-esque sort of engineering and paintwork treatment, and bringing it up to spec, because I think it'd be a good version that you could add to a masterpiece Dinobot line. And I need a masterpiece Slug. I need a masterpiece Slag, because it's the only figure I haven't got for my masterpiece Dinobots. I mean, yeah, okay, I could get myself a Gigapower one or a Fans Toys one, but the one I really want is that Perfect Fusion PF01 Cesium. But have you seen the prices that thing goes for on eBay these days? 300-400 quid. I ain't prepared to pay that. 200 is the max I'd pay for one of those. Yeah, so I'm in the market for a masterpiece Slag, but I mean, you've got Planet X has done that IDW Grimlock that's like masterpiece scale, and they're supposed to be doing the rest of the IDW Dinobots. If they do an IDW Slag, that might make a good substitute, I suppose. But it'll have a different aesthetic. It won't have a G1 aesthetic. It'll have an IDW aesthetic. But anyway, I've gone on long enough. But yeah, he's an okay figure. He's all right. Like I said, hot property, scalper bait, whatever you want to call it. This guy's sold out, but I mean, he is readily available now. I mean, I think there's been a restock at certain suppliers. I think Kapow's got this in stock, and I think In Demand have as well. I'm not sure, but I know that some certain retailers have had a restock of this thing, so it is available again now from certain places. But it's not a bad figure. It's all right. It's pretty damn good. Studio Series 86 Slug. And he arrived on the 11th, and on the same day, the first of my Korean toys arrived as well. Miniforce Sammy Bot, which I got from AliExpress, because my two, I wanted to finish off that Miniforce, the Giantron or Giantron combiner from the original series of Miniforce. I already had Voltbot, so I got Lucybot last month, and I wanted to get Max and Sammy this month. So I decided to buy them from separate retailers. I got this guy from AliExpress, and I got MaxBot from Gmarket, just to see price difference and shipping speed. Now, this guy I got off AliExpress. It's the Chinese version, it's not the Korean version. Build quality is pretty good on it. And it arrived pretty quick, considering it's AliExpress. I mean, I've had sort of a hit and miss with AliExpress with me. I've had a few things go a bit pear-shaped with them, but this one came through all right. It arrived on the 11th, so I ordered it on the 1st. It arrived on the 11th, so that's 10 days from China. That's pretty damn good. Yeah, so I was quite impressed with that. This bot, though, I'm not a fan of it. I passed on it originally when it was first out in about 2014, when this figure first came out. I mean, you can see just looking at it, he's got these stupidly skinny sort of biceps and thighs, and the rest of his limbs are like super chunky. He's got these ridiculously hollow arms. He's got these sort of flappy shoulder things, and he's got these stupidly chunky legs, and his knees don't work. His knees work the wrong way, So yeah, he's got plenty of issues in robot mode, and in his combiner mode, he just turns into a pair of legs. But he's decently articulated though. He's got thigh swivels and bicep swivels and a head rotation, which is not common on a Korean toy, I have to say. The build quality is pretty good. Not quite as good as Lucybot, but he's again a mixed bag. Aesthetically, he looks like a dog's dinner, but engineering wise and mechanically, and aesthetic, engineering wise, and he's not that bad actually. He does do the old sort of split in half to form a pair of legs as well, which is what the other remaining Miniforce bots do. So I'm not a huge fan of this though, but I only bought it so I could complete the combiner, and in that respect, as combiner parts, he does his job. He forms a pair of legs, and that's all you want him for. He does have some, you can turn the legs round, and then you can flip that down, and you know, you can give him some slightly more interesting and more posable legs. So you can mess around with this guy. He's got options, so he's not a complete disaster. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. But yeah, I've got one. I bought it so I could complete the combiner. I've done that. The combiner's now on display in my rooms. I've had to take these guys off so I could do this video. But yeah, so there we go. Miniforce Sammy Bot. Just that a little bit. Right. Then the next day, the 12th, my other Miniforce figure arrived. Miniforce Max Bot. So this was the final piece of the jigsaw with regards to getting the figures for Giantron. He's not too bad actually. Better than Sammy Bot. I mean, his proportions in robot mode look a lot better. Still not perfect. I mean, he still splits in half because he forms a pair of arms. He can form a pair of legs as well. So this guy, you know, he's got, was it 4 modes? He's got like robot mode, alt mode, and then he's got arm mode and leg mode. You know, when you look at the inside of this guy, there's a lot of engineering going on inside. So he's pretty complex, but you know, he's heavy. He's fairly sturdy. Build quality again, it's all right. It's okay. This was the Korean one, even though it's made in China. This was the Korean issue one. I got this from G Market. This cost me about 55 quid because G Market, you know, you can get the bots for about 30 odd quid, but then you have to pay the shipping on top, which is about 20 quid. So you end up paying for like 55 quid. Whereas this guy, who I got off AliExpress, I only paid like 35 quid for it because, you know, you just pay for the price of the bot plus maybe a little bit of shipping and the dreaded VAT because you're buying it off AliExpress. But yeah, so this guy arrived a day quicker and, you know, 20 quid cheaper. So there you go. I wanted to do it as a test, but anyway, but this guy's all right. You know, he's got like a you can say that's an ab crunch due to his engineering. Again, he's decently articulated. You know, he's got a thigh swivel and he has got a bicep swivel, but they're kind of tight. Bit of a parts former though. Well, you have to split him apart in order to transform him because you've got to tuck the head away, which is a bit annoying. So, but you know, you have to pull him apart for, you know, engineering into the combiner modes anyway. But he's not bad. He's okay. He's half decent. But I think out of all the Miniforce bots that I got, Lucy Bot is by far the best. I think out of all of them, she's pretty good. And this guy he's so. Not fantastic, but like I said, I bought him to complete the combiner, and I almost bought this guy first time round when these guys originally came out, but I watched some Korean reviews on it, and there was things about it I didn't like. I think it was this weird sort of double split waist thing that put me off. I don't know, but in hand he's not that bad. He's a pretty decent bot. Damn sight better than Miniforce X Max Bot, because that's an atrocity in plastic, that thing. But he's better than that. But yeah, so I got him, and he arrived on the 12th. Right, so next day, 13th. Right, yeah, it was MCM Comic Con. I decided I wanted to go to the MCM Comic Con at Birmingham NEC on Saturday the 13th of November, and I drew 200 quid out of my TF Nation account to take there for spending money, and I hoped to see In Demand there, and obviously getting into the site you had to get your COVID armband, going through the COVID cordon, and then when you get in you get your armband, Saturday priority ticket, which is what I got. And then when I got in there, you know, I was looking around. I mean, it was pretty busy. I did take some video with the intention of doing a you know, an out and about video, but I couldn't be bothered to I couldn't be bothered to do one. My NEC Toy Fair out and about video did quite well, so that was good enough. Yeah, so I went there, looked around, saw a few things, and spent a couple of hours there looking around at the stuff. There's some decent cosplayers there as usual, but I was mainly there to, you know, see what In Demand had got basically. So when I found the In Demand booth, I was having a look at what they'd got, and I picked up a few items, starting with Studio Series 75 Jolt. Now, I've got the original Revenge of the Fallen Jolt, and it's a piece of crap. I had the Dark of the Moon Jolt, but I wasn't a huge fan of that either because it was the wrong colour. It wasn't blue. It was like this bluish, like light bluish grey colour, and the transformation wasn't that fantastic on it. So I got that as part of the Tom Henson bot lot, and I sold it at the first TF Nation. But then there was a Japanese repaint of that, which was the right colours, but have you seen the prices that thing goes for? So yeah, there's never really been a decent figure of Jolt, and so this is what the doing a deluxe figure anyway. This is like the third attempt. Just got to flop them bits up, but I thought I'd give it a go because, you know, because of what it is. And to be honest, it's not that great either. I mean, aesthetically, he doesn't look too bad. You know, he's got that Bayverse aesthetic going on, but I mean, start with it's the kibble. I mean, it's these stupid side panels here which are sort of hinged onto his legs. They're not ball jointed. They just sit there and they just get in the way of everything. And then you've got, you know, he's got a significant amount of kibble on the back. And then when you're transforming him, everything's tight. You know, it's got very tight clearances on it, and it's not that much fun to transform. And he's a very small deluxe as well. So, you know, he's got all that stuff going on, and as Studio Series figures go, he's like one of the worst Studio Series figures I've ever handled. You know, it's right up there with the Car Shatter and the World War II Bumblebee and you know, Hot Rod molds, because they're pretty rough, and this guy's right up there with them. Yeah, he's not great. He's not that much fun to transform. He's got a lot of kibbles, a lot of clearance issues, and mine's got pretty loose shoulder joints. The hip joints are okay, but he's got loose shoulders on. So yeah, he's not fantastic. He's not great, but I kind of knew what I was letting myself in for because I'd seen a few reviews on this, and across the board, it was a lot of people weren't very happy with this. To be honest, you know, they were moaning and whinging about things on it, and so I can't say I didn't know what I was letting myself in for by getting it. But I decided to get it. So there we go. Studio Series 75 Jolt. Then the next thing, another Studio Series figure. Studio Series Bumblebee movie Thrust. Now this is a repaint of that Starscream mould that they did. And I was kind of waiting for the obvious Thundercracker repaint to come out. But then they did this, and I was looking for things to buy at, you know, MCM Comic Con and the In Demand stall, and he was right there. And he was 30 quid. So I thought I'd give him a go. He looks kind of cool in this green. Obviously it's a homage to, was it Armada Thrust? Because he was mostly green, I think. Yeah, he's not bad. He's all right. Robot mode's pretty cool. I like the robot mode. Better than Bumblebee movie Blitzwing, I'll give it that. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Transformation's a bit involved. The only thing about I'm not too keen on is in the alt mode, you've got all that crap hanging down underneath the jet mode. And I know it's part of the design from the CGI model from the movie, but it just doesn't look great. I don't like that particularly. But that's my only sort of downer on this mold. Other than that, it's pretty decent. It's pretty damn cool. I quite like it. Studio Series Thrust. And next, right. Universal Monsters crossover Draculus. So here we go. Another crossover figure, only this time they're doing monsters. So yeah, Few Adams did a review on it. I watched it, and it kind of, I was a bit on the fence about getting this guy, and so I will admit I watched Few Adams review on it, and it pushed me over the edge. You know, it's YouTuber made me do it, sort of. So he was there at MCM, and I decided to get him. Now, just give me a moment. Right. The one thing I really like about this guy is his packaging. Now, comes in this box, which just looks like a normal box. But then you look on the side, and then you pull it out, and it's a VHS cassette. And I love that. I absolutely love this packaging. It's like, and it comes out, and when you had him, he was held in by string rather than stupid plastic ties. So they've gone back to the string. Well, for this guy, they've gone back to the string, and I really appreciate that, because the string's biodegradable, not that stupid, you know, those silly plastic ties they put on modern figures. And of course, the packaging, there's no plastic packaging on this. It's all cardboard. So well done to Hasbro in designing this. And this VHS cassette box design has been used on some of their other franchises. I know they're doing them mini sort of Power Rangers Megazord figures in these VHS style boxes. And also there's some Marvel Legends figures that are also coming out in these VHS style boxes. But I mean, it's really cool, and especially as I've got real VHS cassettes. So I've got this cassette, which is out of my collection. I've got, you know, chest of drawers full of video cassettes of stuff I've taped off the telly. I mean, this particular thing has got a load of Digimon episodes on it. So, you know, it's a real VHS cassette. So how does it compare with the what's it one? So yeah, it's not as thick, obviously. It's considerably bigger. But, you know, if I bring that forwards. But yeah, it looks really good, you know. A real VHS cassette, you know. Got tape. And got the box. Slides in and out of the box like that. And this box slides in and out like a VHS case. So I really like the packaging they did on this. It's super cool. But the figure. Yeah, heavy retool repaint of the Titans Return Mind Wipe mould. I didn't mind that mould. I quite liked it. So having this thing is, you know, it's neither here nor there. They've engineered out the Titans Return gimmick. And what it basically means is when you're transforming this guy, you just flip Drax's head forwards. And it just sort of hangs out the back of his bat mode, you know, for no apparent reason. And yeah, he comes with the cape. He comes with this massive sort of cape, which is, now I was thinking, as this is the first time we've seen soft goods on a Transformers figure, and actually no, because Dark of the Moon, oh no, it's not, it's plastic, so maybe it is then. Or did the leader class Dark of the Moon from Studio Series have a cloth cape on it? I think it did. You know, a cloth duster. So, but you know, I like the painting they done on it. I mean, it looks like he's wearing a dinner jacket, you know, and The paint is a bit mushy on his face though, you know, around his mouth and his fangs. So that's a little bit annoying. Some of the joints are a bit loosey-goosey because I mean this mold's getting on a bit. But all in all, he's not bad. I mean, I'm quite into these sort of crossover figures, and this is an unusual one. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if they do any more figures in this Universal Monsters, subline. I mean, what other characters can they do? You know, like the werewolf, the mummy, Frankenstein. You know, creature from the Black Lagoon and all that sort of stuff. And it's going to be interesting to see if they manage to do some other decent crossovers. I mean, obviously, the werewolf or the Wolfman, Titans Return Wolfwire is an obvious pick for that. But yeah, so I got him. He's all right. He's okay. A bit of a YouTuber made me do it, thanks to Few Adams. But there we go. I got him. And then another character that I saw there, and when I saw this thing revealed, I thought, that looks pretty cool. Even though it's a mould I've already got, it's a repaint, but it's a shattered glass repaint, and it looks pretty cool in these colours. And it's shattered glass Starscream. Now, it's the Siege Seeker mould, but done in this striking white and red colour scheme, and I really like it. It looks really cool. He kind of looks like Jetfire in these colours, which is kind of ironic because reading the Shattered Glass comic, you've got Shattered Glass Jetfire who's all black and purple, and Starscream's all white and red, but they kind of know each other from a previous life, and it's interesting. But I kind of like this. This is pretty cool. Now, this mould, the Siege Seeker mould. How many repaints of this have they done? Dozens. They've repainted it so many times. I mean, you had the original Free Seekers, then you had that the Rainmaker of Triple Pack, and then you had the Netflix ones, and you'd think this mould would be floppy as anything, but no. It's solid as a rock. Absolutely super duper solid. Every joint nice and tight. I can't believe it. I can't believe how solid this thing is. And the amount of times they've remoulded this figure, and it's like fresh as a daisy. So yeah, that's pretty cool. In fact, it took me a while to figure out how to transform this, because it's been a while since I've transformed my Siege Thundercracker. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. And when he transforms into the Tetrajet mould, he looks a lot like a Colonial Viper from Battlestar Galactica. There's another crossover they could do. They could just stretch it out a little bit, change a few bits, repaint it slightly, and do a Battlestar Galactica crossover with this mould. That would work. I'm sure that would work. So I really like this thing. It's pretty damn good. Looks good in these colours, I know that much. And like I said, the mould is super, super tight, and I can't believe that, given how many times they've reused this mould. So yeah, Shattered Glass Starscream. And then the other thing I got while I was there, the other bot that I got, again, another Generation Selects figure. I'm not one for repaints, really. It's a mould I've already got, but when I saw the repaint of this, I thought, oh, that looks cool. But then I thought, well, I've already got it. I can't justify getting it. But I was there. It was there. 25 quid. Generation Select. Black Roritchi. Yeah, the gold repaint of Fast Track from which line was he from? Was he from Siege or was he from Earthrise? I can't remember. It's been a while. But I saw this and I thought, hell yeah, I'll have some of that. I love this thing. I mean, this is one character where a change of paint on it makes all the difference. This thing just looks amazing in this gold and bloody, sort of like pale sort of purple. It looks awesome. I love it. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, yeah, okay, it's a weaponizer, modulator type thing. You pull him apart to transform him. He's got some interesting modes. He's got like a vehicle mode, and he turns into that massive, great long staff that Scorponok can hold. Even though technically this is the version for that black Zarak repaint of the Scorponok, leader class Scorponok that they're doing. That's why they did this, and that's why it's called Black Roritchi. I've got no intention of getting Black Zarak, even though he is coming out soon. Looks pretty cool though. Looks pretty cool, but I've already got Scorponok, so I'm good. But this guy, I saw him and I thought, yeah, hell yeah. I had money burning a hole in my pocket, and I wanted to buy stuff. I wanted to get a decent haul out of the MCM, so yeah. Generation Selects Black Roritchi. He's pretty cool, and I really like him. And then that was it for the bots. But there is one other thing that I bought. I got me a T-shirt. Now, MCM, like I said, this is the first MCM. Well, it's been 2 years since the last MCM at Birmingham in NEC, which was in November 2019, and they was making a point of the fact that the MCM conventions had come back. And they had a bunch of exclusive T-shirts they'd done for the convention. Now they had one that had an MCM Comic Con at London a few weeks previous, so they'd obviously done these T-shirts for that event as well. But I was looking at the T-shirts and I could do with a new T-shirt, and I saw this one and I thought this one's pretty cool. There we go, Return of the Con. So just to commemorate the fact that MCM Comic Cons had come back, they did this T-shirt, and I thought that looked really cool. That's awesome. It's just got like just MCM Comic Con on the back. So yeah, I bought that. That was 20 quid, but I like that. That was cool. But it's not really part of this haul. I'm just showing it as something that I got at MCM. And that was the MCM Comic Con. I wasn't there particularly long. I think I bugged out about just before midday. I got in there just after 9 o'clock. I know it was a pain in the arse getting to the NEC because the traffic was horrendous. But so went to NEC, bought a few things. It was all right. It was good to get out and about again. And so let's move on. Let's keep this haul going. There's only a couple more bits to go. When I got home on the 13th, there was a package waiting for me. Something I bought or had found and bought off eBay. Cyberverse Deluxe Thunderhowl. Now, this is not the Build-A-Figure Deluxe Thunderhowl. That came with the as part of the second wave of those Macadam Build-A-Figure figures that they did. This is not it. This is a reissue of that mould sold as a separate deluxe figure. And I found a seller on eBay UK who was doing them, and I've got the Ultra Class mould of this character, which my sister bought for me last year as a birthday present. And but I kind of wanted to get this version of the mould as well. So I bought it. I bought it off eBay for about 20 something quid. It's all right. It's quite a complex transformation on this compared to the Ultra Class. He's got some sort of weird legs. He's got these extra sort of joints in his legs to form his wolf mode, and because of that, there's a little bit of playing on him. He ain't got much in the way of feet either, so he struggles to stand this guy up a little bit. But apart from that, he's got a decent amount of paint, a lot more paint than the Ultra Class. But neither of them is screen accurate. But he's all right. He's got a big old, sort of parts forming chunk on the back, which you can transform him with it in place. But it comes off and becomes a shield in his robot mode. He's all right. He's okay. Be interesting to see what other figures they release in this subline. I know they're supposed to be doing. I mean, I'm tempted to get the Cyberverse Dinobots that are in the this season 4, sort of like movie-esque episodes that they've done, which I haven't actually watched yet. So I'm tempted to get those, but we'll have to wait and see. But I've got this guy. He's all right. He's okay. I'd like to see them do some of the other characters in the deluxe class. But got him. And he arrived on the 13th, same day as MCM Comic Con. So he, like I said, he was waiting for me when I got back. Then just a couple more things to finish off. On the 15th, another eBay item that I bought. Now, I had said recently that I might be tempted to pick up the Deluxe Waspinator molds. I'm not technically character mold set collecting in, but I want to get all the Deluxe Waspinators. I've got the Generations Thrilling 30s one. It's on the shelf up there. Recently got the Kingdom one, and I was thinking, well, what other Waspinator molds are there out there that I could make a play on? And one of them was animated Waspinator. So I've been looking out for an animated Waspinator, and I thought I'd found a doozy. I found a guy in the UK who was selling a boxed one for about 30 quid. It was on an auction, but I sort of bid on it at the end and got it for the... was it on an auction or was it a buy it now? I can't remember. Anyway, it was about 30 quid plus postage. So it was about 34 quid I paid for this. And it was boxed. So it looked, to all intents and purposes, like a sealed boxed figure. But of course, when it arrived, it wasn't. And of course, the shipping, I ordered it on the 4th. And it was supposed to arrive by the 9th. But the guy didn't ship it until the 12th. And it arrived on the 15th. So yeah, the guy was a bit lazy in shipping it, and that didn't impress me much. But anyway, the figure. It came packaged in its box. The robot mode head was missing. It was rattling around in the bottom of the box. When I looked at the box, it had been very crudely taped back together. Well, it's not a box; it's a blister pack, but it had been crudely taped back together. And when I got the figure out, he's got loose shoulders. His hips aren't particularly that tight. His head kept falling off because it's got like on the inside of his head. It's a big chunk of transparent plastic for the light piping. It's got like a ball joint cup in the middle, and it was cracked. And I had to take it apart and glue it back together. And now his head's okay. It's sort of tight again. And he's missing one of these fastidial bug arms as well. The other one's missing, so he's incomplete. Had his instructions and that, but this figure's obviously been played with. The joints are kind of loose, and it tells a story. So this guy was basically trying to sell a figure. He's basically trying to sell mutton dressed up as lamb. And I was a little disappointed because I think a couple of days later I saw another loose animated Waspinator that looked complete, and it was like half the price that I paid for this guy. But anyway, I've got him. A tad disappointed at how things went, came about and getting hold of this, but I've got him now. So he's another Waspinator mold. I think there's 2 more I need to get now to complete the set. I mean, I need to get an original Waspinator, but I'm kind of hoping they're going to reissue the original Waspinator mold as part of these classic Beast Wars reissues that they're doing next year. And then there's the Transmetal 2 one, which I'm sort of looking at getting, but he's kind of expensive. But I'll keep looking, and hopefully I'll be able to find one of them at a decent price at some point. But yeah, I got hold of animated Waspinator. And the last thing to arrive on the 17th, the final comic, Transformers Wreckers Treads and Circuits issue 2. Now this is actually quite good. The first issue of this wasn't that special, but this one they go to the planet Velocitron, and they're going to be take part in the Speedier 500, which is a race that all the car bots on Velocitron take part in, and the winner then becomes the leader of the planet, like the top governor or something. And so there's a lot at stake in this race, but there's this group of terrorists that are gonna ruin the proceedings. So the wreckers are there to enter the race covertly as much as they can, and try to weed out these bad guys. But the amount of characters that are in this is amazing. I mean, you've got Knockout and Breakdown in this, and there's it's like they're going through the bar on the Velocitron, and it's like a who's who of what characters are in the bar. It's amazing. What's it's in it as well, Override, even though she hasn't actually had a talking part yet, but Override's in here. But yeah, I was quite impressed by it. It was a lot better than the first one, the first issue. I'm looking forward to getting the third issue to see what happens. But some interesting stuff went on in here. So this is actually turning out to be pretty good. And that's it. That's my haul this month. I have bought a few other things, but obviously, they haven't arrived yet. I did overspend this month, not taking into account the 200 quid I got out separately to buy my MCM stuff. But I still, towards the end of the month, I've got a number of pre-order deposit balance payments on stuff that I've pre-ordered over the last couple of months. And all those figures are supposed to be coming out towards the back end of this year. And one of them dropped a couple of days ago from Kapow. It's the pre-order deposit payment. Well, it's pre-order deposit balance payment on Mastermind Creations Optus Nox. The email came through, so I paid it. That was like 88 quid, and that pushed me over the odds. So I've had to go uptown this afternoon, draw some money out of my TF Nation account and transfer it into my current account to balance things out. So went over budget, but it's all good. I've sorted it out. I've shuffled some money around, and everything's all above board and in the clear. So that's my haul for this month. Quite an interesting haul. So we'll come to the end, and it's the old first and worst. I know who the worst is, but the first is a bit of a weird one. Nothing really stood out. I've got a couple of candidates, but I'm looking at them now and thinking, the one I thought was the first bot, is he really? Because there's another one that I kind of like a lot. Right, okay, let's do this. First and worst. Yeah, Black Roritchi. Again, the colours just work for this guy. I mean, he looks so amazing in the gold and the that pale purple. It just looks awesome. I love this guy, even though it's a mold I've already got, and he's a weaponizer. You have to pull him apart to transform him. He's brilliant. I love him. He's a fantastic little figure. And worst, Jolt. It's a piece of crap, this thing. One of the worst Studio Series figures they've ever done. These wings here, they're the side panels of the car. They do not go anywhere. You can't. They clash into everything. You can't fold them away properly. They just get in the way. And just so many negatives to use to describe this thing, and it's not great. And I've not had much luck with Jolt molds, to be honest. I mean, like I said, the original one is no good. I got rid of the Dark of the Moon one, and I was tempted to get the Fast Action Battlers one to see what that's like. But very disappointed by this thing. But I kind of knew it was going to be a turkey when I bought it. But so he's the worst thing I got this month. So that's it. That's my haul for this month. Moving forward into December. Now, there's a couple of things I'm hoping to do in December. There's a couple of events I'm hoping to do. Well, like at the time of this video, which is the 30th of November, I was planning to do. I've got the pre-Christmas week booked off, and I'd like to do a pre-Christmas toy hunt where I go around the shops in Coventry. I go to Smith's, I go to Forbidden Planet, just go around the shops in Coventry Town Centre. Not done that didn't do it last year because COVID, and I'm hoping to do it this year. And NEC Toy Fair on December 27th. It was a bit in doubt whether I was going to be able to do that, because originally I had plans to go away for Christmas with my sister and her fellow. They were planning to book a holiday cottage in Lake District or whatever it was. And we was going to go up there for a couple of days and spend the Christmas break up there. But when she checked out the prices of the cottage or the rooms or whatever, and it was astronomically expensive. It was like thousands of pounds per head to book these for the holiday season, and it was like just not realistic. So now I'm just going down for my sisters for a couple of days, and which means I'm going to be free to go to the NEC Toy Fair on December 27th. So technically it could be, I mean, I like to do a pre-Christmas toy hunt and the NEC Toy Fair as my sort of last sort of bot buying days to finish off the year, and it's like an annual tradition. But because of the COVID last year, I wasn't able to do them. However, as we know, in the UK right now, the end of November, we've got these. Everyone's freaking out about this new variant of COVID, this Omicron variant that's come from South Africa. It's popping up in certain places in the UK, and there's a very strong chance that it could ruin. No, the COVID could ruin Christmas again. It's still 4 weeks to go before the big day, and there's a good chance that the government might lose their nerve and impose a lockdown. And yeah, it's not looking good. I know we should be able to, make our way through because, as regards to vaccination, the UK is pretty ahead of the game as regards to, vaccinating its subjects. And the COVID's been like an uneasy sort of undulating thing. It's like just when you think it's getting better, it gets worse, and just when you think it's getting worse, it gets better. It's been a fairly uneven sort of thing for the last couple of months. But this new variant of COVID looks like it's gonna, stick a fork in it. So yeah, I've got plans for December, but the COVID might screw it up again. We'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, that's been me, TFI Wilderness. Hopefully you've enjoyed this haul. Let's do it all again next month. So yeah, I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da.